The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Good greetings and welcome to another episode of Peter's Feel Good Early Morning Show. Good day, Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. For the month of August, every new customer that signs up for online ordering at pizzahouse.bm will receive a 5% discount off their order. So make sure you get signed up today. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jacky Lambert, and we are ready to bring you some feel good vibes this morning. Our feel good topic of the day is catch flights and feelings. We're talking all about travel must-haves, and our feel good vibe of the day is none other than joke time with Jacky. So if you're ready for a laugh to get your morning started, do make sure you stick around for that part of the episode. But before we get into that, we're going to get started with our feel good warm up of the day. And we're getting this episode started with a feel good warm up after our conversation with Chantal Painter of A Journey to Tao on Tuesday. Jacky and I decided to continue that conversation with you all this morning. But let's see who is joined in with us this morning, Jack. It looks like we have Sean Smith in the building with us. Good morning to you, Sean Smith.
Morning.
Coming in to make sure you give us a good morning greeting, whether you want to give us a wave, you want to drop us an emoji, give us a reaction if you're watching on Facebook. If you're over there on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. And to all of our tweets over there on Twitter, make sure you run up those hearts. So Jacky, last night we went live on the gram and we asked the audience about their travel must-haves, and I think one that every Bermudian can agree is a travel must-have no matter where in the world you're going is a passport. Now, one thing I want to ask you and the audience, and I'm going to ask this as well, is have you ever lost your passport while traveling? This is a very safe space, y'all. So if you have done it, it's okay. But we want to talk about it this morning. Jack, have you ever lost your passport while you've traveled?
No, thank God. No. There was a situation where I was in St. Lucia and we were there for competition and our hotel room had gotten broken into.
Wow.
But it wasn't like our passports didn't get stolen. It was like 6 of us. I think it was a big room.
Okay.
And or 5 of us. Sorry, it was 5 of us.
Okay.
And only 2 people's passports got stolen, but the rest of us, none of our stuff got stolen.
What? I have so many questions. They steal passports for what reason?
Passports, laptops.
Okay, I thought they only steal passports. I was like, that's all you steal?
No. But their stuff was, we kept telling them, like, pack your stuff up, hide your valuables. Like, yeah, this is a safe place, but
you never know.
People get stuff stolen all over the world. Like, calm down. Like,
did they have a safe?
No, it wasn't that type of resort.
Okay, because I know like most people will say, like, you know, put your valuables in the safe, as in your room. So it's kind of bummer that they didn't have it.
I carried mine. Okay, so it was a tennis competition, and the facility was actually on the same premises as the hotel, so it was at the resort. So
okay.
When I carried my tennis bag, I carried my passport and everything else with me. And then if by chance I didn't need my passport, my suitcase was heavy enough that I used to actually put all my valuables literally underneath my suitcase. I'd put it all together and I'll put my suitcase right on top of it.
Oh, wow. So Jacky was over there like, I'm telling you, if you're not following Jacky on TikTok, she gives you so many life hacks that you need to get your life together. So it looks like Carmen Mitchell has lost her passport while traveling. Carmen, excuse me, can you tell us the story around that? Like, how did you lose it? I have a personal story. I actually did lose my passport while traveling. I can't say I was like traveling, like moving about, but I was in Atlanta for school. And so I was getting my documents all sorted out for my master's program. And so I had to take my passport downtown to do all of that type of stuff. And the purse that I had, it was a St. George's cup match purse, but it wasn't like a real big. It wasn't like a real bag. It was like one of those like cutesy kind of handmade bags. So it didn't have like a shape to it. All my documents were in there, and Lord, dropped it on the sidewalk. Thank goodness it had like my parents' contact information, my mother and my grandpa who lived in the States at the time. So my mom gets a call in Bermuda, and she calls me. She's like, Teresa, did you lose your passport? I'm like, maybe. It's like maybe. And luckily the person that found it took it to a bank. They took it to a bank branch, and I had a car, so I was able to go pick up my passport. But Lord, for like a good 2-3 hours I was breaking. Like I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna get a passport? I'm in the United States of America. I can't travel to Bermuda because I need my passport. How am I gonna get this done? So I was definitely losing my mind. But thank goodness for that person who returned it to the bank branch, because otherwise my master's program would not have gotten off to a great start. I can say that. It looks like we have Rashida Garvin in here with us. Good morning to you, Rashida. Audience, as you are joining us, do let us know if you have ever lost your passport while traveling. We have another question that I wanted to ask the audience as well. Have you ever booked a trip and realized your passport was expired or was going to expire while you traveled? Because I've seen a few people talking about like, getting their passports renewed right now because it takes forever. And I'm wondering if anyone has ever booked a trip and looked at their passport and been like, oh my goodness, my passport's expired. Have you ever done that, Jack?
No, but all this stuff keeps happening to the people I travel with. I can't remember who it was. Oh my God, who was it? It doesn't matter. But it's definitely happened with a few people. And I'm just like, do you not look at your passport? Like, I know mine expires. So today is the 2021. Mm-hmm. So mine expires 2026. Okay. So I know I have time.
I think I have time. So I don't know my exact time, but I know I have time because I know I renewed it right before I came back to Bermuda. So I know I got some time because it's 10 years, right? They give us?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. And mine's in July. Like, I know I have until July 2026.
So you got time. You definitely got time. I don't think it's going to take that long to renew passports, but I have seen it's taking...
Isn't it 10 weeks?
That's what they say, but then I've heard people say it takes longer, like it can take up to 11 weeks. So it's just like,
a year.
Still a week after. But basically...
That's basically a year.
When you think about the travel, like, cause that's the processing time. I don't even know how long it's going to take it to get back to the island, how long it took to get off the island, because, we have to send our passports away.
I thought that was all...
No, I think that was like the processing time. Well, we'll see.
These guys.
Jacky and I will see. Well, I wonder, though, real quick, like before we take our commercial break, I wonder if they're still going to keep our passports being produced in the UK, because I feel like this is just not an efficient situation for us as an overseas territory.
And I've seen our new passport. They're blue.
The new ones? Oh, so we can pretend like we're American?
You want to pretend to be American right now?
Yeah, I just find it funny.
Nobody likes... I want to say, I don't want to be mistaken to be American right now. Nobody likes Americans.
No one does like Americans.
I'm like, I promise you're not American. Listen to my accent. It doesn't even sound close.
Depending on the person you ask, we sound like we come from New York.
Yeah, really? I mean, some people think I sound British. Some people think I sound American.
I mean, Brits will say we sound like Americans. Americans will sound like we sound like Brits. I have had some people when I went to school that thought I was from New York. I think it's because there's a heavy Caribbean culture and community in New York. And so it just sounds like an accent that comes from the West Indies. So they just assumed that I am from New York. So there was
sometimes when you talk, your American switches on.
Yeah, I got to switch. Turn on, turn off. We have some comments in the audience before we take our commercial breaks. Sean Smith says, no, I have never lost my passport. Plus, I have 2 passports, the Bermuda and the British one. So you are definitely set no matter where in the world you're going. And then we have a comment from Rashida Garvin, Jack.
I put reminders in my phone of expiration dates for my passport, license, and other stuff so I don't forget to renew.
That's a good idea. I should definitely do that for the passport. For the license, it's easy. It's your birthday. So I just look at, check the date. I should probably check my license now that I'm saying that.
Yeah, but which year?
So I'm like, I should probably check that. I should probably check that. We're gonna
I have 4 more years.
Yeah, 4 more years on your driver's license.
Mm.
Oh, you got plenty time. You got plenty time for renewal, Jack. I don't know. We'll see. Dude. Watch Jackie forget. Look, Jackie forgets, y'all. We're gonna pull up this episode. I'm like, we said to put up reminders.
4 years later.
We're definitely gonna do the SpongeBob thing. Oh, I have it ready. I'm so excited. I'm so ready for it. We're gonna take a quick commercial break and then we'll be back with our good topic of the day, which is all about catching flights and feelings. Don't go anywhere.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. Do remember that for the month of August, every new customer that signs up for online ordering at pizzahouse.pm will receive a 5% discount on their order. So you do want to make sure you get that done today because there are only 6 days left in August. So you want to get that discount. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert. And if you're just joining us, our feel-good topic of the day is travel must-haves. And besides the obvious, which you talked about earlier during our feel-good warm-up, and other travel documents like your passport and all that good jazz, your visa, depending on where in the world you go, and anything you need for Rona. Like, we're not even going to talk about the Rona essentials at this point. We want to talk about travel must-haves in general. So Jackie and I went live last night on Instagram and we kind of shared some of our travel must-haves. So we want to ask the audience, do you have a set of essential items that you must have in your carry-on bag? And we're actually going to expand this a bit more because Jackie brought up, well, what about when I get there? What about excursions? So I was like, okay, Jack, I guess we'll have to talk about that too. But let's start off with your carry-on because I feel like your carry-on is like the first part of your travel experience. And so we want to know, do you have a set of essential items that you must have in your carry-on? Jackie and I are going to answer the question first, and then we'll come to the audience and see what comments you all have. So Jack, your carry-on, depending on, the size, because, some people take duffel bags, some people take the little tiny carry-on, whichever one, it doesn't matter what size you have. What do you have to have in your travel carry-on?
So I usually travel with my, it's my Louis Speedy. It's like...
They have names?
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, it's the little one.
I know you're talking about.
Right. You've seen me carry it. Mm-hmm. In there, I have my iPad, fully charged with movies downloaded to watch or series. My Kindle with at least 4 books on it because this is travel.
Mm-hmm.
My headphones, obviously my passport, all that stuff, my wallet, blah, blah, blah. Then I have to have my brush, a small thing, a conditioner to re-up my hair because it's natural and it moves. And then I have to have shades. And then I have to have my toiletries, like my little toiletries. I have to brush my teeth. I have to brush my teeth, my tongue, all that stuff. Because I feel like if you're on the plane for 4 hours sleep, that you smell and breath smells musty. In my other carry-on, because I have another little really carry-on, I have my blanket. It's my blanket. It's just my blanket. It's a big blanket. But I have to have it. So I
was going to say, like... You said a big carry-on that only has your blanket, and I'm thinking, well, a blanket's not that big.
It's really not that big. It's maybe like it's not that much bigger than my actual little purse. But in there, because I leave space to be able to shove my actual Louis in there if by chance I want it out of the way. So I leave space for that just in case because you never know if I walk through the airport or I go through the mall, I want to be able to put it in there so nobody's able to snatch it, and then it's just that. But yeah, I have to have my blanket because, like I said, we're going to be asleep. So I like to put the blanket over my head. So as I said last night, nobody judges me for being like this.
And that's the best kind of sleep. So let's be honest. That's the best kind of sleep. So I see some comments coming in, and Carmen actually answered the question around how she lost her password. So we're going to get into that story because it's a big one. So big that it's covering Jackie and I's face, but it's okay. Carmen says, well, I can't even do that. I can come over it. Over here. Carmen says, I don't know how I lost my passport. I think it dropped along with all my other documents. Actually, what I can do is I can take it off the screen and read it from the side. So Carmen says, I don't know how I lost my passport. I think it dropped along with all of my other documents except my driver's license. That's mug. Everything but the driver's license. I was visiting my brother and I think it dropped when he moved my luggage. It was at night. I was a bit panicked having to catch a flight on a holiday weekend to get to work. Jeez. At the check-in, the manager was able to call and told the person helping me that Bermudians take care of their own, and I was put on the plane. Upon arrival, she had to go to immigration and etc. So that's a serious story. Like, I don't think, luckily I didn't have to travel like the next day or travel.
At least she has some sort of documentation to verify that.
Just say that I'm me. I'm me. I mean, and in America, so they can travel between states on just their driver's license alone, whereas most international people have to have their passport, even if you are traveling within the U.S., which I found out, which was actually annoying because I was traveling from Georgia to New York, and I did have a Georgia driver's license, and they let me travel, but they said typically, even though because you're international, you should have your passport. And I was like, but how would you know it's international if I didn't say anything? Yeah. So I know now if I do get another driver's license in the U.S., I just won't tell them. I would just be like, I have a license. It's fine.
Do you know that they don't accept our license for us to go to the club some places? Like,
I think it's fake.
Right. Like, I remember going and I'm like, yeah, we're going to the club. And I was just like, all right, I have my license. And they're just like, bring your passport. And I'm like, what?
And that's the muggest thing.
I lose my passport.
Exactly. So audience, we're going to switch gears a bit. Have you ever been overseas where they denied you entry because of your Bermuda driver's license, or did you take your passport as a backup? I know me personally, I have never in the history of going out in the Atlanta, because that's the only place I've been of age, I've never taken my passport. Like, I have never taken it. I first started with my Bermuda driver's license, did have the experience of like where I was. The first few times I would let them try to find the birth date. And then it got to the point where they were like putting it under the light, trying to see it. I'm like, it's not that serious, sir. It's right there. So I would just tell them. And then eventually I got a Georgia driver's license and I would just use that because I'm like, we're not going to play this game where you think that this is fake. We're not going to.
Yeah, they're just like, this is fake. And I'm like, how? Who puts hieroglyphics on this? Like, you know how expensive it is to have this high quality of fake? Like, I would just wait till it's real. Like, what?
I would just turn 21. Like, I would just say, forget it, sir. It's not that deep. So it looks like Sean Smith says food is a must-have because of his eating habits. So he's with you, Jack. Wait, you said you have food too, right? You eat little snacks?
I always have snacks in my bag. That's a given. I have crackers, I have cookies, I have candy, and I have to have a decent sized water bottle. So that's the first thing I get because they're always so stingy with the water on the plane. Like,
little baby bottle.
Can I get bottle? I've gotten cup. I'm like, can I get some water? And then they'll give it to me, and the cup's this big, and they've given me this much, and I'm just like,
am I fine?
So I'm pretty sure everybody else is drinking alcohol and soda.
Like, but am I 5? Like, I'm an adult. You could at least fill it up. I'm gonna finish
I'll be like, can I get some more, please? Like, you just poured it, and I'm gonna chug it, and I'm gonna give it back because I typically drink at least 20 ounces on a go. Like,
exactly. So it looks like Anika DeShields is joining us. Good day to you, Anika. And I have some comments from Monica Dunstan that I want us to go through, Jack. So here's the first one. She says, aside from the wallet, passport, I was like, what's PP? Then I need a book, gum, Tylenol, and water. And she says, you should have tried getting into club with the old license. Talk about that story, because I don't know. I only had the hieroglyphic one.
We were in Miami. I had gotten a new license. Tara, my sister, had one of the old license.
Okay.
So they were just like, yeah, you can go. And then I got to hers, and they was just like, so how do we know it's not fake? And Tara I was 23, I think, at the time, and Tara's 7 years older than me, so she's 30. So though she's short, you can still see that she's at least over 21. Like, so that's just like, oh, these are fake, this, that, and the other, and we're just like, so you're gonna not let us in because I have alcohol back at the hotel room and I'll just go drink that because I'm of age. And I was just like, but hey, have fun. And probably, I was teasing. I was just like, there's probably no women in there anyway, so you guys can just have whatever fast you're having. And I'm sure the guys would just follow us because we had a crew of people and we was getting ready to leave. I'm like, just so you know, like, we were coming to spend money, and it was about 15 of us. And we were just like, but that's fine. We'll leave. We'll have our own party at the house. And he was just like, no, it's all right. You guys could go in. You just need to have your passports next time. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But you can see that we're all, like, we're
I mean, I do understand why they have to do that because, you know, they do have young people that do look mature in the United States, and they have had the issue of them having fake IDs. So, like, I get his point. He's trying to protect his job at the end of the day. Like, he's not trying to be the security guard that let underage people in. But it is one of those situations where it's like, all right, sir, you're either going to take our word for, by then you don't want to take their word for it because they're foreigners. You know what? It is what it is, sir. Do your job. You should absolutely do your job. So one thing Rashida Govin says as an essential, which I think Jackie covered, is don't forget your money and credit cards. And that is absolutely key. And then let's talk about traveling overseas. Like, if you go to a country that doesn't accept US dollars, where do you typically get your currency for that particular place from? Like, do you typically get it on island? So would you go to your bank, or would you do it like in the airport where, like, cause I know they have like some foreign currency exchange places. So I don't know if anyone's ever traveled to the US, to anywhere that requires other currencies, but let us know in the comments, like, where you typically would get your foreign currency from. And I have another comment from Sean Smith Jack. He says, no, never experienced being denied entrance to any club, even when I was in college. But I think it's a different experience for guys. Have you noticed that guys don't get as much pushback on their driver's license or ID as women?
Always, and it's backwards.
I'm like, wait, y'all say you want more women in the club, but then you give women the hard issue with the driver's license or the ID. I'm just confusion. I don't get it. I don't get it. So here is Carmen Mitchell's essentials, Jack.
Music, headphones, sketchbook, and pens, money, candy, book. Mm-hmm.
Am I the only one that doesn't do candy? I really don't do candy
at all.
Not really. Like, I really don't. I need to go to treats. Clearly, maybe I just haven't had it.
What are your snacks?
Granola, peanuts.
Oh, I eat peanuts. Chips. I eat everything. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't do sweets anymore as much because my skin, they make me break.
Okay.
So it's kind of one of, like, chocolate is probably the only thing I'm gonna do, and then now it's dark chocolate because I don't eat.
Oh my god,
I don't drink milk. Chocolate. So I'm expensive. All my snacks are expensive at this point.
Really?
Dark chocolate is not cheap, and you know it. You gotta treat yourself to some dark chocolate. And you gotta ration that thing. Like, you just can't eat it.
I need a budget then, because I will buy dark chocolate and be like, it cost me $7.
What's $7 in the bucket?
I'm like, Bermuda.
So I want to come back to a comment from Anika Deshia. She says, please, I was in my 30s away with my mom, and we both got carded at a restaurant. See, I feel like at the restaurant, you're doing too much.
You know who gets carded all the time, and I live for the tweets? Jamal Hartman, that doesn't even drink alcohol, got carded the other day for buying non-alcoholic wine. He got carded for buying apple juice and grape juice. Like, what?
How is that even a thing?
Why are you carding me? It's not alcohol.
Is it too ill? Am I too ill to order apple juice? Like, is this like a reverse psychology kind of thing? Like, sir, you should order alcohol, so I'm going to card you for drinking apple juice. Like, what? Okay.
Like, did they think he had Benjamin Button syndrome, or was just like, what is happening here? Is he okay?
I don't get it either. So the currency question, Carmen says she gets the money from the bank, and then Anika Deshia says she'll get her currency on island before. Okay, this is a sign that I need to travel to places where I need foreign currency so I can try it out. And we have a comment from Monica Dunstan, Jack.
I get cash at the first ATM I find after lending. So it depends. For me, it depends on if I've been to the country before and I already know the life hacks, or if I have friends there that I'm just like, hey, so I have this amount of cash. I know this is the exchange rate. Would you prefer if I did it through you? Like, he will go or she will go and get money out the bank or ATM, and then we'll do the exchange ourselves. Because I'd rather give that extra little buck to a friend that I'm, using the transportation with or whatever.
Right.
But sometimes, like when I go to Trinidad, I usually go to they have the currency exchange booth.
Okay.
And you can see who has the better rates, and then you go to them.
Okay, so they have like multiple booths. It's not like just one.
It's like 3 of them they have.
Okay, that's interesting.
And then you can go to the ATM and just pull out or whatever.
Okay, so so you put your debit card in and it will give you TNT back. Okay, I can't remember what the currency is, but we'll just TNT. TNT. So Short Smith says we were talking about getting card. He says he doesn't recall being asked for proof of age for entrances. Men, I don't understand how y'all get this because Carmen says she got carded all the time. I am just confusion as to why.
Hold on. Sean, how tall are you, Sean?
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Because I feel like the shorter people are, the more people like think that they're younger. Like people think that my eldest sister is the youngest. And I was like, why? Like, what would make you think that? And they're just like, because she's so little. I'm like, how does that go together?
How does that make it a thing, though? At some
point, you think that a 70-year-old small person is 12?
Yep.
When you look at them in the face, like,
yep. Don't get it either. So looks like our brother Jamal says, don't be calling him out about getting carded because clearly
when you put it on Twitter, it's for everyone to talk about.
Especially if you have a public account.
He has a public account.
That's what I'm saying, especially if you have one. If you don't have a public account, then it's kind of one of those things like, yeah, it's iffy. But if you have a public account,
Jamal can never have a private account. He has like 2,000 followers. Like,
I mean, you could have a private account no matter, but Jacky is clearly saying that Jamal, you can't do that. So don't make your account private after today.
You're a public figure now, sir.
We'll just screenshot. You can just screenshot. Screenshots will get you every single time. So Sean Smith says he will purchase foreign currency in Bermuda and use his credit card upon arrival. That's a good idea because I wanted to talk about that because I think someone said they'll pull currency out when they first arrive, and then bank fees will get you for the foreign.
Sometimes.
Oh, you not experienced too many bad fees?
Like one time I was in Ecuador and the bank fee was like $1. And I was just like, so
Walmart.
What? Actually, when I was in school, Publix used to be like $5.
Well, and so that's one thing I noticed too. Places that don't have ATMs that people go to frequently have higher rates, except for the clubs, the adult clubs. Them Johns, they charge you out the wazoo just because. But generally speaking, like a Publix or smaller grocery stores that don't typically have people pulling out cash, because you can do cash back at the cash register, they charge you a lot. Like Walmart, they have high traffic, so they charge like I think $1 on one side and then like $2.50 on the other side, so it's like $3.50 total. And so it works out to be less expensive than if you were to go like to a Bank of America or a popular bank ATM, because they get you. Whoo, child. They will get you. So we have another comment from Jamal Jack.
Yeah, the thing is they're carding me without scanning the items first.
So they don't even know if it's worth being carded full. They're just like, we want to card this guy. And Monica says to order apple juice. I feel like it was reverse psychology. I really feel like they were trying a thing with Jamal, and so it is. We have another comment from Jamal Jack.
As far as currency, who carries cash anymore? All card over here. Well, it depends on what country you're going to, because some countries, if you want to buy stuff off the side of the street, like if I want doubles or roti and stuff like that, most times you need cash. It's not that expensive. Like you could get a double, like you can get doubles for like $1 on the side of the street. So, wow. I need to go back to that. And even in like Ecuador, El Salvador, stuff like that, if you go to the market, they don't have cards. So you need cash. And that's where I like to buy most of my stuff. If I do go shopping, I like to go shopping in foreign countries just to have like little staples from those. You know, souvenirs, clothing, shoes, bags.
Little tchotchkes.
Like Curacao, a lot of this stuff, they had like leather goods for cheap. And I used to clean those markets up.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back with our feel-good topic of the day, which is catching flights and feelings. So make sure you don't go anywhere, because we also have our feel-good vibe of the day, which is joke time with Jackie. So if you want to laugh to get your morning started, make sure you stay tuned.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app, available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. We want to remind you that for the month of August, every new customer that signs up for online ordering at pizzahouse.bm will receive a 5% discount on their order. So make sure you sign up today, because there are only 6 days left in August. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert. And if you're watching us over there on Facebook, make sure you give us a reaction to today's episode. If you're over on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. And to all of our tweets on Twitter, make sure you run up those hearts. Before we get into our feel good vibe of the day, we do have some comments related to our feel good topic of the day that we still want to get into, which, if you are just joining us, is boop, on the screen. Catching flights and feelings, travel must-haves. We ended the conversation right before the break around like currency, foreign currency exchanges, and Anika De Shield says she thinks the currency exchange booths have higher rates. I guess that's in connection to like banks. So if you were to go to a bank, you might get a better rate than you would at the exchange booths. I know in the U.S., they definitely have, in the Miami one specifically, I noticed a foreign currency exchange booth. I hadn't noticed one in Atlanta, but I also really wasn't looking. So that's that. You've been to the New York airport, right, Jack?
Which one?
Which one have I been to? I don't know. JFK, I guess?
I've done LaGuardia and JFK. I prefer JFK.
I think I've only done JFK.
Getting into the city from LaGuardia is not fun.
Like, what's the difference? So actually, let's talk about that travel must have. Like, is there like, if the location that you're going to has more than one airport that you can like travel to, do you have a preference? Like, what makes you decide one airport versus another if the state or the location that you're going to has more than one? Like, is it
accessibility for taxis? So like when we went to JFK, so it's been a few situations where I can put it together. Went to JFK, caught a taxi. It was easy to get a taxi and move out. LaGuardia, trying to get a taxi, it was almost like a ghost town. It was weird. And then that was 1 year. And then the next year, we had a driver. Went JFK, boom, no issue. Went LaGuardia. He was just like, why are you flying into LaGuardia? And we were just like, well, because, we have booked last minute, the tickets were cheaper, and it's New York. Like, he's like, New York is not New York when it comes to certain things, right? Yeah. So he picked us up, and he explained to us that we paid way more than we were supposed to with the last taxi because we didn't know, and this, that, and the other. So, and then he showed us the different issues with traffic. The taxi driver just sat in traffic, and we were just like, okay. He had to navigate around, and because it was a flat rate with him, and we had to pick up stuff anyway because like he's my parents' driver, and then because we're driving, my dad will call and be like, my girls are coming up, I need you to pick them up. So he became our driver. But we had to pick up some stuff for my dad, and of course it was just way easier to do the same thing from JFK versus the LaGuardia. Yeah, I never noticed. Plus, there's more. I like the airport better as well.
And to be honest, to be fair, I've only ever been in the airports. I never left either airport to go to the city, so I wouldn't even know. I was just like, for me, it was just like a port. So it's like, okay, whatever. But JFK does have more stuff, so I do prefer that one for sure. Yeah. So in answer to your question around his height, Jack, Sean Smith is 6 feet. So that's why he never gets carded. That's why he never gets carded. Because you're tall enough. Like, you meet the threshold, you're tall enough to get into this club. The rest
you can get on this ride.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. He also says he doesn't like ATM fees as most ATMs are independently owned. Yeah, and that is true. Like a lot of the ATMs, especially in the US, when you start going outside of like the main city areas, they tend to be just like regular old ATMs. So they're gonna charge you like $5 upwards just to take out $20.
I am so nervous about ATMs after watching the Will Smith movie called Focus.
Mm-hmm.
They're all basically, it's about a movie where everybody is either a pickpocketer, basically just thieves. And one of the main actors was, he went over to an ATM after somebody rented. He literally just pulled it off, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm about to just scam everybody." And I'm just like, so now I'm nervous about ATMs.
Yeah, you do have to be careful.
Is this a legit ATM or is this a scammy ATM?
Yeah, that was actually when I was in Atlanta. They had like a lot of issues. They were telling people to be mindful of certain ATMs and like look for certain things because people were basically altering the ATM so that when you put your debit card in and you typed in your PIN number, it was scanning to get your PIN number and your card number so that they could do things. Also get like your expiration date. I don't remember if they could get the CVC on the back. I think that may have been why they added it because it's not like raised at the top, but they can still read the back of the card too. So you definitely want to be mindful of the ATMs that you go to because they definitely will try to scam you. Before we get into our feel good vibe of the day, I have some more comments here before we get into that, Jack. So Anika the Shield says they didn't know non-alcoholic versus alcoholic beverages. Poor Jamal. Like I honestly probably would have made a scene, or I would have given her this look like, ma'am, you serious?
It's weird because if you look at Jamal, he has a beard. Like Jamal looks not his age, but he looks definitely over 21.
Exactly.
It's so, I laugh every time. I'm like, I know this person is just messing with him. I feel like they're just messing with you, Jamal.
Probably was. Like, they probably see him coming all the time for this non-alcoholic beverage. And they're like, I'm going to get him today. Today is going to be the day. And that was the day.
They probably all watch this show and they're just like, ooh.
Wait till he comes in. And she also says that currency exchange booths are in every airport, even before you exit the baggage claim area. I'll be honest, I never really paid attention to them because I don't go anywhere besides the US. Well, I didn't go anywhere besides the US before. And when I did travel to certain places, they did accept US dollars. So it's kind of one of those things where as long as I had US dollars, I was fine. But I would like to travel to places that don't accept US dollars so I can get some foreign currency. Because I feel like they're like souvenirs, I don't know.
I haven't been at me. No, I spend it. Or I give it away. No, like I spend it or I give it because I don't feel like doing the exchange rate. And I'm not, like the only place that I have kept money is Trinidad because I know I'm going back.
Gotcha.
Whether it's because I do, I take children there for competitions to represent Bermuda as well. So it's if I'm going for competition, I'm going for leisure. So work or leisure. But I haven't been to anywhere that doesn't accept US. Like India accepts US, Greece accepts US.
The US dollar is the world currency, and it's kind of annoying because they're not really a great country to be having the world's currency. But we digress because it's time for the feel good vibe of the day. Jackie has some jokes for us. I'm going to try to guess them. Y'all are going to drop your reactions in the comments. Also, make sure you run up those reactions on Facebook if you're watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button on YouTube. Make sure you do that. And to all of our tweets over there on Twitter, make sure you run up those hearts. Jackie, over to you. I'm ready.
What has 4 wheels and flies?
What has 4 wheels and flies? Not an airplane.
A garbage truck.
I love it.
Okay, what do you call a Grim Reaper with hearing problems?
What do you call a Grim Reaper with hearing problems? A hearing aid. No.
Deaf.
Deaf. Oh my goodness.
Which one of King Arthur's knights built the round table?
Which one of King Arthur's knights built the round table? The fat one.
Circumference.
That one. That I feel like you built me up for the last one. Like the last one's always the funniest.
Gotta go out with a bang.
Always got to go with the big. We hope that today's Feel Good Vibe of the day has you ready to make it a great one. Thank you for watching this week's episode, or today's episode, of Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert. We trust we'll see you tomorrow for another Feel Good conversation where we will be discussing the benefits of playing tennis at all ages with Kayla Cross of Cross Court Tennis. Until the next episode, peace and have a good day, Bermuda.